Question 1. Feudalism. Feudalism was a system used to run societies and governments in medieval Japan and Europe. Even though both places had a system where people were ranked in order of importance, the way people acted in those roles and how it affected society was different in each region. Write a response where you will compare, tell how they are alike, and contrast, tell how they are different, the feudal systems of medieval Japan and Europe. In your essay, make sure to, number 1, write a clear thesis or main idea that talks about both the similarities and differences of feudalism in Japan and Europe. 2, gives some background about how feudalism started and grew in both Japan and Europe, and mention the main historical events that shaped the system. 3, use 2 clear and relevant examples or facts for both the Japanese and European feudal systems to back up your thesis, showing how these examples point out the similarities and differences. 4, compare feudalism in Japan and Europe by highlighting key similarities and differences. 5, show a good understanding of how feudalism was different and unique in Japan and Europe in your essay, and clear up any wrong ideas or simple views. The scoring guide. You will get 1 point for a thesis that responds to the prompt with a historically defensible thesis or claim that establishes a line of reasoning. You will get a point for contextualization if you have a section that describes a broader historical context relevant to the prompt. You will get points for evidence. You will get 1 point for evidence if you provide specific examples of at least 2 pieces of evidence relevant to the topic of the prompt, or 2 points if that evidence supports an argument in response to the prompt using at least 2 pieces of specific and relevant evidence. For analysis and reasoning, you will get 1 point if you use comparison to frame or structure an argument that addresses the prompt, and 2 points if you demonstrate a complex understanding of the historical development that is the focus of the prompt through sophisticated argumentation and or the effective use of evidence. Now for writing, you will write in these boxes. So part A, write your thesis or claim. So in this section, you will write a clear thesis, main idea, that talks about both the similarities and differences of feudalism in Japan and Europe. In the next box, part B, contextualization, you will give background information about how feudalism started and grew in both Japan and Europe, and mention the main historical events that shaped each system. In box C, for evidence, use at least 2 and relevant examples or facts for both the Japanese and feudal systems to back up your thesis, showing how these examples point out the similarities and differences. And D, analysis and reasoning. Compare feudalism in Japan and Europe by highlighting the key similarities and differences. Once you've done that, you have to answer 2 questions. So which question would you like to answer next? Would you like to answer question 2 about the conquests, where you will write a detailed response about each event that Muslim conquest of Afro-Eurasia or the European conquest of the Americas was better for people? Or would you like to answer question 3, where Imperial China or absolutism, write a detailed essay where you compare and contrast Imperial China from the Sui to the Qing dynasties with the absolute monarchists of Europe? Or if this is your second question, you can select the third box. I've answered 2 questions and want to submit my final.